Welcome to the Marlene Saunders Show, where we have real talk, real conversations, and you're welcome to it. Today, chat family, we are talking, continuing our conversation and talking about the very important topic of red flags. Now, we all know what red flags are. We talked about that in the previous three shows, but today we're going to focus on those red flags when they appear with our relatives. I know that some people call them family, but it's actually your relatives because just because you are related to somebody by blood, it does not make them your family. Okay, so let's get into it. What are some of your red flags that you see from your relatives? I'm going to talk about some. Feel free to leave that in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you guys. So, my first red flag when it comes to relatives, my number one pet peeve is when there is no respect or there is a lack of. And at the same time, they will be demanding that you respect them and you show up for them and you do right by them, and they don't give you respect. It's definitely a controlling mechanism that many relatives do, because a lot of times when your relatives feel because they are older than you or have certain skills, they they do that as a way of dangling, this is what I know better than you, like you know nothing, like you're not an adult as well. So that's a thing that it's very important for us to understand and pay attention to those red flags when it comes to our adults, and that we don't have to take it. You don't have to take the disrespect or their lack of respect, because we train people how to treat us. And if you show your relatives that they can disrespect you or treat you very poorly, they're going to keep doing it. Who is the one that has to show up and set the standards? Me, you, us. As adults, we have to show up, and those red flags are very important when we talk about relatives that do not show respect to you. We are all deserving of respect. Number two, it's the controlling behavior for me that really makes those red flags go off in my brain, because I can't take it. It's very stressful, it's very manipulative, and it's very mean. If you have relatives and they feel like they can control everything you do, they want to know all your personal and private business, and they feel entitled to know all of that. That's not okay. When you see these red flags that we talk about here, we talk about it so that when it happens to you, and if it happens to you, that you know, I'm going to cut that right on off. Hi Delvin, how are you doing? Blessings. um when we see those red flags in our relatives, we need to know that we have choices. For so many years in my life, I most definitely did not feel like I had a choice when it came to my relatives. I felt like I had to do whatever they said because that was just the upbringing. And I was raised to respect my elders or other people in my family because that's my family. But if they're bringing pain into your life, hurt, drama, negativity, controlling behavior, these are things that we have to warn ourselves about, and we don't have to keep taking it. It doesn't matter who the person is among your relatives. It's so important for us to not keep taking that controlling behavior, controlling what you think, what you do, who you're around, what relationship you want to be in. It can be very, very abusive. You know, YT does not like that word, so I always have to spell it out. I'm a good Delvin. I'm glad you are too. Number three, a big red flag for me is the constant criticism. I cannot take it when I have people who are my relatives and they're very critical about every single thing that you do. And that is a no-no. There's many people who are your same relatives, same bloodline, and they will be very critical about how you look, what you do, your job. If you lose weight, if you gain weight, they can never be happy and satisfied and positive with anything that you do in your life, and it's so very exhausting. For me, dealing with the toxic relatives, it's just so exhausting and tiring. Right, Delvin? Respect is respect, and it does not matter who. And many of us need to really empower our minds to know that. It doesn't matter if it's your mother or father, aunts, grandparents, brothers, sisters, cousins, whoever it is that is your relative, and they're doing any of these red flags, you don't have to keep taking it. You don't. And this point right here about being very critical about your life and what you're doing with your life and your business, and how you look and how you choose to wear your hair, or what clothes you wear, what job you choose to do, who you choose to be in a relationship with, whether you have children or not. None of these things are our relatives' business. And some just, they do too much. They want to know too much. They want to control too much. And they're very critical about what you are doing. What I don't like about relatives is they would not be willing to help you. They're not going to help you. They're not going to support you, but they definitely will judge you. So these are the ones that, those red flags, when they go off and you just always critical, always want to put you down, especially when they have those parties, right? It's supposed to be a party. It's supposed to be about fun, but really it's just an excuse to get together so that they can gossip, find out everybody's business, and pick them apart and talk about whoever is not doing what they want to do according to their standards of success. And the funny part is, those relatives that are very judgmental about how you are choosing to live their life, it's so strange that their life is in shambles. Their life is in the toilet. They are not doing anything. So it's like of how you should be living, and at the same time, location in their life. It's so weird, but that's just the way it is. When we're dealing with toxic individuals, low vibrational, negative, those who do not have a drive and a desire to succeed and be happy, that's what you're going to deal with. It just so happens that sometimes the people who do these things that hurt us and disappoint us just happen to be related to us. It's just what it is. Number 4, another red flag with relatives is the blame game. I don't know about you guys, but for me, that blame game thing, always blaming you for their life, the blame game. It's just been happening since the beginning of time. Relatives that blame you for something that they did. They blame you because for one reason or the other, things aren't working well in their life, either because of immaturity, um, making bad decisions, anger issues, and some other things that we're going to talk about later. But that blame game is a big problem and a big red flag to watch out for when it comes to your relatives, because if they are your relatives, they are grown, and I mean 18 and older. It's not our responsibility to fix their problems or to do everything for them. And that toxic way of being with some relatives, the expectation that you have to do this, you have to fix it, you have to, because you're my blood, because you're my relative. And it's not our responsibility. Hey, realists, how are you doing? It's not our responsibility to fix other people's problems, namely our relatives. They can be the worst when it comes to how they treat us. And we could have people that could be a friend or a stranger that would show more love than your own bloodline. I think it's so sad and so very pathetic. But that blame game is what I can't take. That's one of very, very high on my list that really irritates me when it comes to relatives. And notice I didn't say family, okay? Your relatives, they blame you for their problems, the choices that they've made. They always find a way to project their fears, their insecurities, their drama onto you. Like, it's your problem that you didn't help me pay this bill, and I got evicted because you didn't give me the money for my mortgage or light bill or my phone or car insurance. It's like, why is it my responsibility? Why is it your responsibility to pick up the burdens and the problems of your relatives? It's not. But because there's a lot of immaturity, toxicity, and also, I'm going to mention this, mental illness. Many of our relatives are not well. They will not get treated, they will not get help, they will not take the medication that they need so that they can be on a level playing ground. But they'd rather blame you and be immature and disrespectful and critical and very controlling in their behaviors towards us. But I just wanted to say that we don't have to take that. You don't have to take it. I really had to empower myself when it came to my relatives, because they'll use that, oh, I love you, right? They'll throw those words out there. They'll love bomb you and make you feel guilty for not doing things for them. Like, you have to, or I don't have anybody else, and who else am I going to go to? And if you don't help me, then this is what's going to happen. So that guilting thing is a big major red flag when it comes to our relatives, that they just keep doing things like this to us, treating us this way. But the thing is, we don't have to take it. You don't have to answer those phone calls. You don't have to be their bank or their ride share service, or or provide daycare for their kids. That's not your responsibility, you know. Hey Frank, how are you doing? Welcome in. Um, yeah, it's not our responsibility. Yeah, they have no accountability at all, and that is one of my biggest pet peeves that I cannot stand, is the zero accountability for me. It's the zero. Like, they blame you for the bad choices that they make, their immaturity, and the bad decisions that they have made, and then they want to say it's your fault. It's like, if that's not a projection, I don't know what else is. you know? But let's get into point number 5. I think we have 8 points today. So this is another big red flag for me. It's the jealousy, and I can't stand it. Do you have relatives that are jealous? Sometimes jealous of you, want to be you, or they're jealous because you have peace and they don't. That's a major thing with my relatives. They're jealous of your peace and your joy, and they're jealous that they can't know your business. There's many reasons why our relatives can be jealous. It's not always that they're jealous of who you are. They're jealous that you don't give them your power anymore. That's a major deal that I had to learn, to stop giving my relatives my power. You don't have to tell them your business. You don't have to support them. You don't have to listen to their foolishness and their drama. You don't. And the more that I learned that, is my peace started to rise. My joy started to rise. I was so much happier when I stopped letting them and their misery affect me. And we all have choices to make as adults. We can choose to listen to that negativity and drama and always complaining, but they never do anything. That's a big major flag for me. If you are a grown woman or a grown man and you keep complaining about this, you don't like whatever it is, but they don't leave that toxic relationship that they're in, they don't get a better paying job, they don't make better choices. So what is going to change if they don't change? See, they don't have that sort of reasoning and maturity to say, I need to do better. They would just rather complain about it and also expect for you to bail them out. Like you have to. It's that, what is it called? That control, that expectation, that control and power that you have to, like, you must do this. Enabling. That was the word I was searching for. Is that enabling behavior. And many people who are our relatives have been enabled from their childhood. They've never been told no. They do whatever they want. They don't want to be told that something that they're doing is wrong. They don't want to be checked. And like Frank G says, zero accountability, right? And that's not good. And we don't have to take it. So when you see those red flags, stay away from them. Frank says they know the old you, but they don't know the new you, and they get mad. Yeah. When you heal, when you're happy, when you learn to lean on your faith, when you just mature and you just don't want to be a part of the negativity. I think that's what it was for me when I just didn't want to be a part of the negativity anymore. Like they would always be complaining or talking about people, always involved in something that was going to be something negative, something that would give me a headache or get on my nerves. Like I just was told them, like, don't involve me in the group chat. I don't want to be in that group chat about negativity. I don't want to hear about the gossip. I don't want to hear about the complaints that people who aren't going to change. And we know them. You know your relatives, right? So that's another one, the jealousy part. Another red flag to look out for is isolation. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. How could isolation be a red flag? And it is. So it's one of those things is they act like a little toddler when they've been checked on something, when something isn't right. They completely isolate themselves. They cut themselves off from everybody else like it's our fault that they haven't grown up. They don't want to, they get angry and they're mad and they're telling everybody about how you treated them when they were the problem in the equation. And their solution is they need to grow up, but they don't want to hear that part. They don't like when you check them. They don't like when they can't know your business, when they can't control you and manipulate you and take your peace anymore. These are the ones that hate you, right? Delvin says, makes no sense to deal with them. Love them from a distance. Yes, that is so true. And it took me a long time for me to get that. It wasn't until I got to be in my 20s before I said, you know what? I'm just going to not answer that phone, or I'm just going to stop going around this person or that person because of how they make me feel. And the judgment part is what drives me crazy. Like as soon as you go around, oh, what are you doing now? And it's the looks that they give you, the judgments and being critical and looking down on you. Oh, what are you doing now? All right, where are you working? Who are you in a relationship with? It's all just so that they can get more things about you. They want to know things. I hate to say it, but it's true with relatives. They are so nosy. But at the same time, they're not willing to help you. They're not going to help you. They're not going to be supportive and encouraging. It's just negative centered. And that's why I said this is red flags. So when you see these things, stay away from them. Run, actually. So that's another one. So that isolation, it's when you see that, you've told them something like, I'm not going to be giving you my money. I'm not your Uber. I'm not your, rideshare service. I'm not going to give you my credit card, help you with bills. That's not my responsibility, and it's not yours either. Hi, Sirius. How are you doing? Welcome in. Frank says, I have learned to read the room and the red flags will come out. That's right. That's one thing that I say all the time when I go to a get-together with my relatives. and you step in, you already know what's going on. You know the ones that you step in there and they're talking about you, and it's like, wow. Like you step in the room and it immediately becomes silent. Yeah, that's one of the things, like, okay. So that's one of the reasons why there's a lot of people that I'm related to. I won't go to those get togethers. I refuse to, because you already know they don't like you. They're not supportive and whatever. People just want you there so that they can talk about you, so that they can be in your business. And that's it. It's not because they love you. It's just they want to know your business, or what can they benefit and get from you. And when they can't get much, they're not really interested to see you anymore. And this is point number 7, and we got one more point, everybody, one more after this. So point number 7 is a red flag is the ones that have an addiction, a substance problem. So they have an addiction to drinking or mind altering substances, and we all know what those substances are. drugs, right? Or whatever. They have some sort of thing that they are addicted to that has control over them, you know? And it's not good. It's a lot of them when they take those substances in, or the drink, they get wild, they get crazy, they change. They could be the nicest person, but when they get on that stuff, whatever stuff it is that they are taking, you can't deal with them. So you got to be warned with that. They're not a person that is going to change unless they want to. Hey Metro, how are you doing? Exactly, serious. And that was one of the things. It's like I have some relatives and I really do love them. And just like you guys, I know that you have your relatives and I know that you love them, but you can't help them. You can't make them grow up. You can't make somebody make the right choices and support you. You can't make people just act in the right way, rational, reasonable, supportive, kind. You can't make people turn into what you want them to be. You have to just say, this is the way my relatives are, and I got to leave you over here. Like Frenchie says, you got to love them from a distance and leave them alone, because they're not going to change. So those who have those addictions to substances, I'm sure, you know, it's the erratic drunk or high, and they start mess. They start fighting. They're making problems, and they just bring the drama and the mess because of they don't have control in their own life. So they bring their out of control behavior anywhere that they go, and that's a red flag. You know, I can't be around people who don't know how to control themselves when it comes to things that they are taking in. And there's nothing wrong with having a drink, or maybe 2 drinks, but when they get sloppy drunk or when they're so high, right? Can't deal with them, and you shouldn't have to. Metro says, Marlene, I'm doing great. After I presented a great motivation speech the other day, I have always faith and prayers. Oh, that's awesome, Metro. So let's get into the 8th and the last point, and I feel like I saved the best for last. And another big red flag when it comes to your relatives is those who are emotionally abusive, very emotionally, yeah. And it's because they have the inability to control their emotions. They will say and do whatever they want to. They will say the meanest, the rudest, the most disrespectful, embarrassing thing, and then at the same time, they want to say, you're sensitive. Oh, you're too sensitive. Get over it, right? But you can never do the same thing to them. They have no problem with embarrassing you, bringing out your business, highlighting it, and doing all of this stuff, but that's okay, right? But if you do the same, Now, why are you're starting mess? Why are you being messy, right? But they can be messy. So they don't have an ability to control their emotions. They just are erratic. You never know what mood they're going to be in. It's just like Jekyll and Hyde. You have to walk on eggshells around those people, and that's not going to work, right? So here's another part about emotional, those who are emotionally abuse of you. They have an explosive temper, rage, anger, screaming. Sometimes they break stuff, just doing all kinds. You never know how they're going to be. Their temper is always erratic because it probably goes with they're on some substance or they have some mental illness. It's a lot of reasons why people have that explosive temper. And it could also be that they have a lot of unresolved issues from their childhood that they have not talked about. And that's what it is. But it's not our fault. And we shouldn't have to keep feeling very uncomfortable, scared for our lives because they don't do what they're supposed to do as a grown woman or a grown man. Yes. Um, yeah, communication is a really big thing. And I think that is another part of a red flag that I don't like. When it comes to relatives, they kind of feel like you should read their mind, know what they're going through, and they have this expectation. You should know how I feel. You've known me long enough. And I was a part of that toxicity too. I used to always think, look how long you've known me. Like, you don't know what I like. But as an adult, we have to be able to communicate what we want, what we need, what we like, and what we don't like. And that's what you do as a mature woman or a mature man. But some people will never do that. Okay? Yes, we have to learn to be strong and wise. We really do. And this is the thing that really gets me about the red flags with our relatives, and that's the constant negativity. That is what I'm just like, nope, stick a fork in it. I'm done. Because yeah, I can't take all the negativities. Always, everything. It could be a wonderful occasion. People could look beautiful or something special. One thing that a toxic relative will do is ruin a special occasion, a wedding, baby shower, somebody's special moments, engagement, anything that is not about them. They love to bring drama and bring something up to ruin that person's day or moment because they want the highlight. They want the attention. They don't feel that they deserve that attention. It's just, some people just aren't right that are our relatives, and some don't like to say it, but I will admit it. I have relatives and they are not all right. They're mentally challenged and they need to see a therapist, a psychiatrist. Some of our relatives need to be on medication because they are not okay. Delvin says the love went gone in many humans. Yes, there's so many, and you would think because somebody is your relative that love would be the most dominant quality. Like, oh wow, that's your sister or brother, cousin, grandma, aunt, uncle. You would believe that these people really love me. And these usually are the ones that bring you the most pain, the most drama, the most negativity, the most judgment. You know, they do a lot of things to bring us pain, but we have to realize that we don't have to take it. So, yeah. Frank says they will tell you about your life, but can't deal with their own mess. Yeah, isn't that something, Frank? I say that all the time. Like, why are you over here trying to tell me about my life and your life is in shambles? It's like they want to tell you how to run your house or what kind of job you should have. And you look like, what are you even talking about? It's like you don't even have whatever it is. There are always some things missing. Like I always say with myself too, I am so busy in my personal business that I don't have time to think about what other people have going on and to judge them. I'm too busy trying to handle my own, trying to keep my own head above water, and maintain my peace and joy. But some people will never be happy. You can't make somebody happy. And that's the thing that I had to learn. And pay attention to those red flags, everybody. Okay? Yes, Frank. Pay attention to those red flags. Pay attention, pay attention. Because if you don't cut off the toxic relatives, the judging relatives, the mentally ill, the dramatic, those who are always coming around begging for money and they have never paid you back from what they owed you 1,700 times before, but they come back begging again for some more. Say no and mean it. Cut them off. Leave them alone. No, stop going around them. Don't tell them your business because you don't have to. Okay? This has been another real talk and real conversation with the Marlene Saunders Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Shout out to everybody who was in here live today. Delvin, Metro, Frank, Realist One, and Sirius. Thank you guys so much. Delvin says we live in a hurt world, and yes, and because of being in a hurtful world, those people have hurt and they don't deal with it. But we don't have to take it. You don't have to take it from your relatives. Know your worth and love yourself. And I'll see you guys back tomorrow. Tomorrow is part 5 of 5. I'm talking about red flags. I think tomorrow we'll talk about red flags in your romantic relationship. So this should be a good one and a good way to end our week. And if you guys are watching in the replay, feel free to leave me a comment below. If you're new to this channel, turn on your notification bell. Subscribe if you enjoy the content. And I'll see you guys back on tomorrow around the same time. Bye, guys.